straight ahead. It'll start boarding at 9:45.
Alright, good.
I don't want to get wet. Where is Bolt's Castle?
Yeah.
Okay. Kudupa. மாடி கூட போலாம்.
What? Oh, Sally, yes, that's true.
திறந்துக்கலாமா?
Actually, I'm comfortable. Hairலாம் பாருங்க. நல்லா வார்மா இருக்கு உள்ள. Yeah, அப்புறம் சொல்லு. I mean, it was very hot. என்ன சொல்றது? நான் comfortable.
Temperature இருக்கு. இங்கே வந்துருங்க வாங்க வாங்க பேக் எடுத்து வாங்க
Morning, everyone. That was a good night this morning. Well, you are on your... Even though the weather is always sunny and
போனா பொறுத்துலாம் எங்க ஒண்ணா உட்காரலாம் வாங்க
managed by the Coast Guard. So, we have to...
Be careful with the camera. Oh yeah, my name is Rosemary. I'm your tour guide today. Looking to your left, you have Cherry Island. At the end of Cherry Island, it used to be known as Twin Pine Tree Houses. Because Nathan Strauss and Abraham Abrams grew up together, went to school together, vacationed together, married one sister, and bought this end of the island in 1889 for just $100. They built twin homes, naming them Olympian Flora. And as you can see, there's only one home left. As you go by, you see the ground pool that was made out of Olympia. Flora is the one that still stands. They established A&S department stores, but you might know it as St. Many people during the Industrial Revolution made money, so during the Golden Age, from 1872 to 1920, they escaped the heat of the city, came up to the South Island, absolutely loved it. People who were wealthy started buying islands and building 20 to 30 room cottages to become mansions. And the next mansion that you see is on your left, is Casablanca. Originally, it was a closed lot built by Emily. The Amsterdam actually owned it and the Curry Mansion of Florida. It is for sale, and you can tour that mansion at any point in time.
Yeah.
Okinawa's alcohol spirits. So they would hang lanterns to indicate when it was safe to transport the alcohol from Canada. Folks, if you're in the middle of the boat, please have a seat. You can stand to the back of the boat at any time. So if you're in the middle, please have a seat so the people on the other side can see. At the end of Perry Island, you're going to have Wingley Lodge. This was the last home built before World War I in 1917. Fred and Ellen Fraser purchased this end of the island for $40. Gagin of Syracuse designed it, and Garlick Brothers of Alex Bay built it. It was then sold to Mr. Hasseltine for $750,000. He didn't have much use for that boathouse, essentially selling it for $750,000. Rocky Island, and at the base of this rocky island is housed several ovens. And right now we have the last day of pirate days going on. It's after the notorious Bill Jump, and he was a little pirate during the Patriot War of 1838. He sunk with Sir Robert Peel. He did that because it was carrying British paychecks, and he thought if he did that, they wouldn't fight the war and they would win, essentially being free of British rule. But that didn't happen. There was a national manhunt out for him. He hid right in this cave. It goes back in about 20 feet for 3 days and 3 nights. On the third night, his daughter, Kate, was bringing him supplies and news of the day. The authorities followed him in there, arrested him, sentenced him to life in prison without parole. He only served 2 years of that life sentence. Then William Henry Harrison, our president, gave him a full pardon on one condition, that he have a different sentence by manning the Rock Island Lighthouse at Fisher's Landing, where he took the Sir Robert Peel. He did that until his death at the age of 83. Back to your left, we have Cuba Island, and it's just named that because it's naturally shaped like the island nation of Cuba from an aerial view, just a little smaller version. Financiers currently own this out of Rochester, New York. Next on your right, you're going to see little rocky beaches, and those are shoals. There's over 2,000 shoals in the St. Lawrence River, and they make navigation a little difficult. You see that little pirate flag is floating on one of them. So I'm going to talk about those in just a minute. But looking to your right, you have Wallenette Island. This was built by Thomas Wheeler. He made his money in the barrel. Well, County here, he made so much money in the barrel. He became an associate of John D. Rockefeller, Douglas Standard Oil Company. It was the only place to be, if you were anyone who was anyone in the 1950s and 60s, it was turned into a hotel. Hotel, motel, holiday inn, only accessible by boat. The original stone foundation is there, but the structure was lost to fire and rebuilt. That island also doesn't have for sale, so we have some spirits. Next on your left, you have Keyway National Park. It is the headquarters of the 26th.
Síganme los buenos. Mira, espérate, ahorita que te no, no, bajita me está quemando.
Marina down here. It's not very big, so it's a 5% little wing that you're going to get to do that marina. Coming up next on your right, but in front of it is Comfort Island. And at this end is Comfort Island. Donovan, who was Abraham first participant at the island. And they wanted to have comfort for their island block, their kind of block. It was an entertaining family for name also started with paint manufacturer, and his son was a famous artist, American artist as well. Next, on your right, you're going to have the lobby. Mr. Olsa owns this, and he was a in New York City. Inside the architecture, you're in the so he rounded out the walls. Ironically, he made some bad investments with his for his clients, and found him and killed him on Boxing Day in 1889. So this is the marina here on your left that I was talking about that has a 5 to 7 year waiting period. Coming out here on your left, on part of the mainland, this green mansion is called Bella Vista, or Beautiful Home. He is an inspiration. His name is Dr. Tag. So now his son became a dentist as well, and locally here in Alexandria. And we all say they have a lot of pull around. Coming up next on your left, you're going to see one of the highlights of our tours. This is Longview, or Artificial Island, with a big clock tower on it, the stone clock tower. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Rose made their money. They came here, wanted to purchase an island. Mrs. Rose was a very picky woman. She actually went to all the islands. She didn't find what she wanted. So Mr. Rose decided he would build her an island and build her a mansion right here. He did just that. So he named it Longview, or Artificial. When he unveiled it to his wife, Mrs. Rose, being as picky as she was, she didn't like the island, she didn't like the home, and to come find out, she didn't like Mr. Rose either. So she left all three. And we think Mr. Rose got the better end of the deal. Oh, here's a ship. Yes, we are coming into the shipping channel. Look down to your left. That is the largest span of the 5 spans of the Thousand Islands Bridge system. It connects mainland USA to Wellesley Island. Wellesley Island is the second largest island of all the Thousand Islands, and it is the largest U.S. island, being 8 miles long and 2 miles wide at certain points. It is home to seasonal and year-round residents. They can connect via the bridge over there. And they have a school, 2 golf courses. One's a pro golf course, and some pro golfers live on the island. And it is accessible via the bridge, so they live there year-round. The 2 kinds of ships, that's one of the ships. We are in the Seaway Shipping Channel, and we are actually going to be going by, this is the American Narrows, the narrowest point. It has to be wide enough for 2 ships to pass at one time. 740 foot lasers to be able to pass. I believe that's the laser coming at us. So, from 1954 to 59, it had to be wide. And they did just that. The base has to be 27 feet deep, and the speed limit is only 15 miles per hour. The lasers that you see, lasers can be up to 740 feet in length. And they stay just in the freshwater system, in the St. Lawrence River and the Great Lakes. The salties are shorter in length. They're 200 to 400 feet in length, and they go in and out of the ocean. So, those are the 2 types of ships. There's over 3,000 ships that come in and out of the Seaway Shipping Channel each year. It does start at east of Lake Erie and goes all the way to Montreal. The St. Lawrence River that we're in does begin at Duluth, Minnesota, and goes all the way into the Atlantic Ocean, 2,340 miles long. Now on your left, you'll see 2 markers. 198 right there on the left is red, and we go by the same thing as the ships, red, right, return. So actually we're going towards the ocean. If you keep going the way we're going, 826 miles you'd be in the ocean. Behind you is 35 miles and you're Coming up on your left, you're going to have Craigside. This is the home to the U.S. Border Patrol and the headquarters for the region since 1964. And
Son de rescate. Tírate, tírate.
this diver there, so he's diving some sunken ships. Who wants to see a sunken ship, by the way? Anybody?
Está más profunda el agua.
We're not going to be able to. It's sunk, and it's 250 feet below us as we're going by the Coast Guard station right here on your left. It was the Roy E. Dodgery who was traveling in a blinding snowstorm in 1974, November 20th, the opposite direction of us. It hit what we call the Pullman Shoal. Now you know what a shoal is. And it sunk within 5 minutes. It was carrying iron ore pellets, so the captain and crew left the ship and safely swam right here to the U.S. Coast Guard. They watched the ship sink right before their very eyes. Thankfully, no lives were lost that day. The bow is right there at the Coast Guard station, and the stern is over there by Winley Lodge. So, the next day, 3 divers were sent down to investigate the shipwreck. Only 2 came back. The 3rd safety line was snapped, and his body was never recovered. It is a level 5 master dive. You have to register with the Coast Guard to even dive that dive, and I've only seen 1 set of divers actually doing that because several divers have lost their lives going to see that shipwreck. Next on your left is my favorite on the American side, Millionaire Joe. It does sit on Wellesley Island. It is Hopewell Hall. William C. Browning was the manufacturer of Civil War Union Army uniforms. He came here and built this home, and it is for sale. It's got 60 acres with it for $5.4 million. Just make sure to check out the cash, and I'll make sure the right owner gets it. It was then sold to George Bolt, and his daughter lived there, and then her daughter, and she lived there until her death in 1993. Next on your left, you'll have Castle Rest, or Pullman Island. It used to have a 28-room castle on it, but it was torn down due to a tax dispute. George Pullman brought us the sleeper-style railroad car, and he also brought popularity to the area because he entertained Ulysses S. Grant, our president, took him fishing and fell off his boat. There was about 200 press covering the story here, and they brought us the rush of 1872 because people rushed here to see where President Grant fell off the boat. Next on your left is Nobby Island. It's very unique because this home is over 100 years old. The pillars that you see are pink Laurentian granite brought from the very base of this river. That's what the river looks like at the bottom. They're not held together by mortar or cement, simply the weight of the house. Dr. Morello owns this island, and he calls that little boat my medicine. Pink Laurentian granite is what both castles are built out of. Next on your left, you have Friendly or Dewey Island. Mr. Paul Clark on this island. He brought us Empire Air, which is now part of American Airlines. His grandfather, friendly, see how friendly they always wave. Paul Quackenbush brought us his great-grandfather, the double-hitch nutcracker, the extension ladder, and the patent for the Red Ryder BB gun. If you look to the back in between, just in the back of Friendly Island, you're going to see the Thousand Islands Yacht Club on Wellesley Island, and one of those golf courses I talked about where the rich and famous gather is established by George Bolt. Next on your left, you're going to see a big white anchor on an island. That is St. Elmo's Island. St. Elmo is the patron saint of sailors. It's to commemorate those who have served and lost their lives on the St. Lawrence River. If you look to the right of that, you're going to see a boathouse. That is a replica of what once stood the original home on top, lost to fire. This island was sold last year for $2.1 million, and you can rent it out for the week. In the back there, you're going to see the Swiss
You can rent it for a week.
George built 2 houses, architect, and have his friends come up and visit for the week. It was only $10,000 in the year 1900. It is currently privately owned condominium. In the front, with this one flag waving right there, the American flag, that is Florence Island, named for Florence Proctor of Procter & Gamble. Arthur Godfrey had a crush on Florence author. In the 1920s, he was a famous radio show host, and he made a song for us on the St. Lawrence. And he sang it nightly on his radio show. And everybody wanted to see where Florence lived on St. Lawrence as well. So coming up on your left is the highlight of our tour and every tour. It is Hart Island and Boat Castle that sits on it. Never fully finished, furnished, or lived in. George and Louise, there's our sister over there. Uncle Sam Boat Tours and Rock Tours. They loved the island. Louise decided she wanted to buy an island, so she bought this one from K. Hart in 1898 for $14,000. George did two things before constructing the castle. Changed the name from the island of H-A-R-T to H-E-A-R-T. Changed the shape. Lashed away some walls and filled it in. And it is the exact shape of a heart from an aerial view. If you look to the back, there's the yacht house where George kept his steamships, favorite yachts, and housed his captain and crew. George loved his wife and built this castle, but he had a second love of his life, his mother-in-law. But he said there's no room for her in the castle. So he took his spare change, and you see that little home right there with the rust roof and one tree on the island all by itself? That's called just room enough. He built that for his mother-in-law. All exits go to the St. Lawrence River, and everyone around here knows she was a chronic sleepwalker. That's nice of him, isn't it? The Ulster Playhouse that you see right there is the only place inhabited by the boats during construction of the castle. It does have a 2-lane bowling alley, living quarters, a library, and a theater. They would invite actors and actresses to do some shows for them in there. The gazebo is home to over 100 weddings each year. And the castle itself sits 6 stories tall. It has 122 rooms, 55 fireplaces, 30 bathrooms, and 365 windows, one for every day of the year. It does have a grand entrance and ballroom. It would have the only elevator north of New York City, Otis Elevator, during that time. It does have an underground pulley system, so no one can see the goods and services coming out of the castle. The kitchen was just finished last year, so it is this year it's open to view. And you see this beautiful Italian garden at the end by the Duckco or Henry, where George kept his favorite exotic birds. At the end of the island, you're going to see a pump house or powerhouse, powered by gas and diesel generators to power the whole castle. It would be said to be able to power the whole village of Alexandria Bay. Now I'm going to have you guys jot to look to your right here really quick. And you see that little dock right there in that building next to it? And you see that dock with nothing on it? That building right next to it, next to the hospital over there, right? That used to be Marine Building Bank, and I got a story for you right there. It was robbed in 1969 on Labor Day. Labor Day is coming up for us. So there was an unusual amount of money in there, sitting everybody made their deposits. So the robbers came in, 2 of them. They took everybody in the bank and put them in the vault in 1969 on Labor Day and robbed the bank. But they didn't tighten the bank vault, so they would have been able to escape. After they left, the robbers left with $112,000 in 1969. That's a lot of money. They took off, they were never found. So the authorities never found them, so that's the great bank heist of Alexandria Bay that I wanted to tell you about. Here comes our ship. Now for a little background about George and Louise. George, at the age of 13, lived in Prussia. He didn't think his future was so bright, so he decided to work his way to the United States on a steamship as a Yes, that was a close call, but thankfully everybody's going to be safe. See that boat, sailboat, and the ship. Very dangerous to be sailing in the shipping channel. So George worked his way to the United States on a steamship. He landed his job in New York City as a busboy. He quickly worked his way up to manager in a hotel, and by the age of 21, he was renowned in the business. He went to Philadelphia, getting a job at the Bellevue Hotel. The owner was so impressed with him that he introduced him to his daughter Louise, which then would be his wife. They fell in love, married, and established the Bellevue Stratford in Philadelphia. They were very good in the 1941, she passed away of consumption. George was so heartbroken that he forbid anyone to step foot back on the island because Louise didn't even get to see her castle finished. So he even forbid his children to step back. He had 2 children, George Jr. and Clover Louise. They never stepped foot back on the island. So it lay subject to the weather elements and vandalism. By 1977, it was almost ready to crumble when New York State stepped in and said, we need to do something about this before it continues to crumble. Well, then E.J. Noble was in charge of the estate. He invented the peppermint life saving. So I'm sure all of you had one of those cameras. So he was in charge of the estate, and he sold it to New York State Bridge Port Authority for $1 US in 1977. So with that came some stipulations. First of all, anyone from all over the world is welcome to come see the castle. Secondly, it's never going to be complete past 95% because that's when we die. So she never got to see the castle, so no one ever will. Third, it has to remain a museum. No one can ever spend the night there. It can never be a resort. Since we've never got to spend the night, no one ever could. And last, all the proceeds gained from the castle have to go back into the castle. So since 1977, over $38 million has gone back into the castle. I'm going to point out one more island before I take a little break. On the left-hand side, you're going to see Coyote Island, that little island all by itself with a green roof and brown structure on it. That is owned by Steve Carhart. Now, if you don't know who he is, he's the designer for Ray-Ban sunglasses. So, he got to retire at the age of 42. That's pretty good, isn't it? Came here and loved to go fishing. He built that home off site on Wellesley Island to save himself some money. And as he would go fishing, he'd go to get his fish off the hook and then he'd drop his sunglasses to the bottom of the St. Lawrence River. Well, he got tired of that because he knew real estate money. And he decided he was going to design his own eyewear using Ray-Ban quality, but they would float when they dropped in the water. So he did just that. He invented Coyote Eyewear. It is the official eyewear of Uncle Sam Boat Tours. I have mine on, Courtney wears hers, Molly wears hers, and Captain Carrie wears hers. We all wear them. I drop mine in the water as we're docking, been able to scoop them up. Sometimes they bob away, they float away, so I can't get them. So somebody else gets my glasses because they're floaters. But we get to sell them on our boats to you for a fraction of the price because Steve Carhart is good friends with the owner of Uncle Sam Boat Tours, Ron Thompson, and so he said, okay, with all your passengers, so they can walk away with something from the tour. We get to sell them for $20 a pair. They're 100% Polaroid, and the ones that take bobs or floating lenses do float. Not all of them do, so check them out. I'm going to take a break and go downstairs, see Molly, get something to drink, eat, and check those sunglasses out. If she starts laughing at you, try on a different pair. And I'm going to just point out this chimney right over here on the left-hand side. This is Deer Island, but I'm going to point out this chimney coming up. It has osprey on the top. That's the cousins of the bald eagle, but it's actually just the part of the building that's left over that I'm going to talk about on the way back. Okay, so that's Deer Island.
Arvind, vada ulla vada. There's a bald eagle on top, but yeah. அம்மா போயிட்டா? She's at the back.
I think that's a yes, but I don't want to.
I will buy it. I've been asking for
Be careful, careful.